Hey everyone, it's Sean. The What's Up Dude. We are here at the Lost River Cave, and we are going to explore the caverns and take a boat ride and have a little fun in the caves. This is Sean, the What's Up Dude. The Tourist Court. The Lost River Tourist Court was operated for close to 2 decades following the opening of the underground nightclub in the mid-1930s. It was not uncommon for couples to spend their honeymoon in the tourist court, which had cabins built overlooking the cave valley, and the natural air conditioning of the cave valley contributed to comfort of the accommodation. Donated by Service One Credit Union. And this is a building that has the name on it, Lost River Cave, Bowling Green, Kentucky. And we do have directions to the boat tours, the gift shop, and also the River Birch meeting room. So we'll walk around the area until our tour. Right here we do have a waterfall with the American flag. This is the Lost River Cave Mining Company gemstone and fossil panning. So you can buy a bag from the gift shop, and the water comes down here. And you can use this to sift and find some treasure. Rocks, maybe perhaps some gold. And this is what you'll do right here, sift through and see if you catch anything. And it continues on with this. And here's some of the things that you might find inside. And it goes all the way around so everyone can participate. And if you are parents and you want to watch your kids do this, you can sit right there and relax and continue down. If you want to donate to this amazing place, every dollar does make a difference. So you can donate to keep them running and operating. Explorer, a fun little place for kids to have fun and explore. Right here, this is a muddy tunnel, so you can have your kids crawl through here and experience nature and get a little dirty along the way. Maybe wait and do this until after your tour. Right here's a little lookout area, and we have a gazebo type system here, and you can get up top over here. And of course we do have a tractor running through. Currently the doors to this are locked, so we can't see the inside. However, if you are in the area and you have a family reunion or a party or a birthday party or any type of thing like that, you can rent the room inside and have some fun inside, and then you can take the river tour. We are now headed to the River Birch meeting room. We'll see if we can take a look inside, but people will rent this out and have events. At various times during the Civil War, the Confederate and Union armies where Garriston and Bowling Green many encamped around the Lost River Cave, soldiers on both sides recorded the impressions of Lost River Cave and Valley in diaries and letters. Probably everyone in the regiment explored this great natural curiosity and brought away many beautiful stalactites found on the roof. Union Private William W. Calkins of Illinois, 104th Infantry. I joined a party of explorers and penetrated the cave. Lighting our candles, we wandered over the detached rocks far into the interior beyond the sound of very busy camp, far beyond the reach of daylight. Union Private Stephen Flattery, 102nd Illinois Infantry. This is the trail that leads to the boat tours, the nature trails, and the butterfly habitats. And we did purchase our tickets. You have to buy them at the visitor center, but this is the Lost River Cave area. There's a little eating area if you want to go have food by nature. And here's a little area you can get a better view of. And we do have Thirsty, Hungry, Curious, Scan, and Scurry on over. Trailside treats. Right now it's not open, but sometimes you can come over here and get a snack. This is the Greenway Trail, and it goes in the separate direction of the boat tours, but we'll take a look on this trail and see what we can find. And a map of the trail. An open area of lush grass surrounded by nature. You can hear the sound of bugs and birds chirping away. During October, they do actually decorate this trail for Halloween and have different stages where you can see interesting decorations and spooky things. Hut, 2, 3, 4, we're walking on the trail. Hut, 2, 3, 4, we're walking on the trail. We are headed back to the boat tour trail, so we can be there for the boats in time. Protecting a natural treasure. In 1986, recognizing the geological, archaeological, and historical significance of the Lost River Cave and the mile-long Karst Valley property owners Raymond and Ann Cravens, Leroy and Dorothy Highbaugh, Owen and Mary Lawson donated the property to Western Kentucky University to preserve the site in perpetuity as an educational and cultural resource for the citizens of Kentucky. The establishment of the Friends of the Lost River, Inc. in 1990 enabled the preservation, protection, and promotion of the site for all who visit. This is the Carolyn Hardcastle Bridge to Nature. And we do have the bridge right here that we're about to walk on. Welcome to Cocktails and Trails. As you can see, we are surrounded by nature in every direction. And if you hear the thumping sounds, that is not Bigfoot. That is my son being crazy on the trail. And right now we are headed down to the butterfly habitat and have to walk down this little area here. Blue Hole 3. Blue holes are karst window or places where underground rivers are exposed on the surface. We're going to go down here and take a look. And that is the water right there that they're talking about, a little area of water that's just risen above from the caves. And we do have a little building right here. We are still headed to the butterfly exhibit, but we're getting some exercise, and my son is more tired than I am. I'm like strong like bull. I keep moving and grooving, baby, yeah! This is the Charlie Miller Butterfly House, dedicated to Charles W. Miller, 1945 to 1996. And we are going to go inside and see what we can find. And it says, watch your steps. Open it up, buddy. Come and see a world of pure imagination. So we are surrounded by beautiful butterflies flying around. And they're everywhere. Here's one right here. And some up in the air. This is a beautiful sight to see. And there's butterflies in here of every different color, just flapping around. And we do have an old house right here. And to get back in time, we do have to walk back to the trail. We are on the trail looking for the notorious Bigfoot. And we heard a couple sounds earlier. And we don't know if we'll find them, but... Oh, Derek, what was that? We don't know if he's friendly or not. He might be in that building over there. Derek, go check that building out real quick. All right, we made it past the shack. Didn't see Bigfoot. But who knows? He did scream. He got scared. Hopefully he doesn't fall into that water canyon over there. But we got to make it to the boat tour on time so we can escape Bigfoot. This is like a giant adventure for us. And we're getting exercise at the same time, which is good. Right, Derek? We're running from Bigfoot. He found us. He found our camp. Hopefully we can escape to the boat tour.
Who here's already been to a cave before? Been there, done that. Anyone been to Mammoth Cave?
Yeah, we have.
Yeah, people always love coming to Mammoth Cave and then coming that second. You see, Mammoth Cave gets the title of the longest cave system in the world. We don't have anything to gloat about like that, but we have some things that will even make Mammoth Cave a little jealous. Yeah. Now, the cave used to extend this entire path we're walking down right now. That bridge you guys just passed over, a couple thousand years ago, you better look down and just see more flat land, more rock. But the rock that the cave is made out of is called limestone. It's everywhere around here. and it's super easily broken down by water and other forces. So that cave came by, and the water in time came in and made that cave. And we're walking in this massive sinkhole right now. This entire valley used to be the cave. About 40, 50 feet on either side of us used to be the very cave walls of our Lost River Cave. And that water that made all that change is actually right down here. This is our famous blue hole right here. It gets that name because it's literally a hole. There's a lot of blue water in it. Now, the way it's that color is from a mineral called calcite. Here in our rocks here, there's limestone. If you get really close to it, you'll see little grains that might sparkle every now and then. And that's that mineral calcite. It seeps in the water here. And then when it's in the water, light likes to come down and it reflects all the deep green vegetation. And it makes the blue hole a really nice deep blue. So let's go down these steps real quick and get a closer look of our blue hole. Now, if you guys have any questions at any point, go ahead and shoot them my way. I know my voice is super soothing, so I could talk about this all day, but I don't think anyone's favorite class was lecture in school. So let's make this a discussion.
Daddy, I have a question.
What's your question?
What is it?
Is the tunnel is dark when we go on the trails?
Is the tunnel like our cave?
Yeah.
It's gonna be a little dark, but we have lights in there, so nothing to worry too much about. But good question. How deep do you think our blue hole is right here?
10 feet?
10 feet?
100 feet.
100 feet? Any more guesses?
20?
I heard 320. But I'm gonna just cross it and give a nice crisp high five. How about that? Yeah, how deep is our blue hole right here?
How deep?
30 feet,
25
feet.
Yeah, 20. 20.
30. Okay.
100.
Our blue hole right there is 437 feet deep. That's 3.5 of these trees deep.
Wow.
Right there. Now the way they found that measurement is some folks from Tennessee use the Tennessee method. Sorry about the Tennessee friends. They took a rock and a rope and they threw it in. And they waited to they heard a thunk on the ground and they pulled it back up, measured it, 437 feet deep. Then some people from Western Kentucky University, remember that's the college I go to, their geology department thought that measurement method was a little fishy. So they brought their geology department with their degrees and student debt, and they put their whole canoe right over the blue hole there. Took out a really long steel rod, lowered it down in the blue hole until they heard a thunk, and they got a whole new measurement. That first one was 437. What's that new one? What's that new one at the Western Kentucky University?
498.
498, 450?
500.
500.
500?
500. You got two 500s. Going once, going twice. They got a new measurement of, original was 437. New one, 15. Only 15 feet deep. That's all it is.
15 feet?
15 feet. Yep. So something that those Tennessee folks didn't really know is that right below that porch where those hydrology folks from Western Kentucky University are standing right now, there's a little opening, a spring, for all the water that comes from rain and stuff. When it gets here, once it gets to the lowest point around here, which is our cave back there, and when it does, it has to do so by that little hole. So just like putting your thumb over a water hose, it's gonna gush out with a lot of force. So when they throw that rock in there, there's an entire underground secret stream that catches that rock, and then they measure the length and not the depth. So we are no longer 437 feet deep, only about 15 at the most, but that is still pretty interesting. You don't see too many bodies of water this deep blue right now. And it's all because of that one mineral that loves to dissolve in there. So, we ready to go see what you guys really came for? Yeah. That's down here.
And we are entering the cave area.
You guys are looking at what is the largest natural cave mouth this side of the Mississippi. Bigger than Mammoth Cave, bigger than any cave opening you're going to see anywhere around here. A staggering 156 feet wide from end to end, and at least 50, 60 feet out to the surface. And it goes even deeper. All made through water and time. That is all it took to make this. Now, can you take your gaze off the mouth of the cave just for a moment and look up something behind me? Do you see something a little bedazzled and a little sparkly behind me? All those banners and stuff right over there. That is our rental venue. It's actually just had a wedding over the weekend. It's actually going to have another wedding later. We have tons of events happening there, like movie nights, or cocktails and trails. All that stuff happens right over there. And it has seen a lot more parties than just that. About 100 years ago when that was built, it was basically made to be the Bowling Green speakeasy. All right? 100 years ago, prohibition was the law of the land, so booze was bootlegged and moonshiners ran rampant. And this place was the perfect spot for people to turn a blind eye. All right? Out of sight, out of mind compared to the big happenings of the city above. So this was a spot to come in your nice tuxes and long ball gowns in the middle of the summer and feel the nice cool air. Get a nice, chilled, refreshing bottle of liquor, chilled from the cold water here. It was the spot to be back in the day. Now, that kind of nightclub has seen better days, and it eventually went out of business. And then this whole place here became public property. Anyone want to take a shot as to what happened to this place when it became public? No. You only got a guess? What's your guess?
Can we just go towards it now?
We're so close, buddy. We're so close. I want to tell you a little something first. Any guesses? What this place became? Oh, you have a guess? A cave. It became a cave. You're so right. Well, this spot we're standing in right now became the site of an illegal dumpster ground for many decades. After the cabin I took place. Not a landfill. Landfill is where the government says, you put your trash here, we're managing it, we'll make sure nothing leaks.
All right, it looks like Jessie James and his infamous gang are believed to have hidden these caves following their robbery at the Southern Deposit Bank of Russellville.
About 55 tons of trash was left right here. 55 tons. Now, obviously, it's not the case anymore. You guys see 55 tons of people walk down the cave? I hope not. But what happened was, Western Kentucky University, that college that found the true depth of the blue hole back there, they founded a nonprofit called Friends of Lost Rivers. That's a nonprofit that I work for, and the nonprofit you guys all bought your tickets for. And they made it their mission to make this cave and the 72 acres surrounding it and bring it back to its natural beauty. So we go back into the cave here in a moment. You'll see things of signs of pollution and events that happen here that are less than flattering, but in the decades since we took over, we've been able to keep that a bit. If you go to other trails, you see things like our meadow restoration area. We're bringing back native plants. Or a prairie restoration area where we have open land for groundhogs, squirrels, always to find a home in the middle of what is a normal Midwestern town. It's small, yes, but it's something for them to have. And we're able to do that with the funds that we get, the rental venue, and the boat tours. So I think you guys deserve a little one of these real quick. Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do.
Here is a closer look at the waterfalls, the rapids here,
And the old mill dam.
System. Are you guys ready? Here we go, guys. If you've ever wondered what a wet rock feels like, now's the time to find out. Alright, now in front of the boat, you are clear to go ahead and slowly sit up. Back of the boat, I wouldn't sit up quite just yet. You might have a headache in the morning. But I'd like to formally welcome you guys to Lost River Cave. We have made it, folks. Alright. Now the first thing we're going to take a look at here is this formation off to my left. Now this here is what we call a flow stone. Can you guess why it's called a flow stone? Absolutely, it's because, even simpler, the water flowing right over top of it. Alright? Now because we live in a karst environment though, this is where we start getting to what you were talking about. Karst environment, soluble, dissolvable bedrock, that's what it means. So as this water flows over top, it's dissolving the limestone. Limestone's being deposited over top of it at a rate of a cubic inch every 100 years. Alright, so it's a really slow process. Because that water's constantly flowing, it's also dissolving at the same time, which gives it that smooth, bubbly texture that you notice over there. Now, this is cool, but we have plenty of cool stuff left to check out. The next thing we're going to see here is one of the biggest rooms we have in our cave. This next room is what we call our breakdown room, because the rocks break down. Now the most formative event here for our cave are all the floods, aka what shapes our cave, the floodwaters. The biggest one being our 100-year flood, which on the outside goes all the way up to the lip of the cave, but on the inside here it goes all the way to the ceiling, to the tippy top here. So imagine this room completely submerged underwater. Not with us in it, it's terrifying, right? Just full of water. Because where we're sitting at right now is about 100 feet underground. Above us is about 50 to 60 feet of bedrock. That's what separates us from Nashville Road. Spooky, right? And so as that water's coming through, it's dissolving our limestone, right? Finding these cracks in our bedrock. It finds its way to the bottom or the ceiling of our cave right here. The water drops down, leaves that limestone behind, and that's how you get something called a drip formation. On the ceiling, what was that? That's a light. Yeah, that's a little wire mesh that's covered in plaster to make it look like part of the limestone, right? So the things here on the ceiling though are called stalactites. If you're not familiar with what a stalactite is, the best way I can describe them is as if they were icicles. What was that? Sorry, yeah, so this is just so muffled, you're not going to be able to understand me. So I'm going ahead and going full solo here, right? I'll speak up for you. So we have stalactites here on the ceiling of our cave, and they're like icicles made out of rock. And they grow at the same rate as that flowstone back there, of a cubic inch every 100 years. Right? So a really slow process. If you've been to another cave, you may have seen some stalactites before. They are beautiful, magnificent formations, but here in our cave, we don't have regular ones. We have special stalactites. We have what you might call itty-bitty stalactites hanging out on the ceiling up here. Now wait a minute. They usually grow a lot bigger than that. Well, you're right. On average, they're roughly about 6, 7, 8 feet long. There's really no end to how large they can grow unless they connect to another formation or an outside force acts upon it to where they break off. But here in our cave, again, they're special. They're teeny tiny baby ones. But why are they so small compared to some other caves? Well, there is a reason for this. Now I want you to think about this. Imagine standing up against thousands upon thousands of gallons of water coming at you per minute. Right? So these things are doing the best they can. When those floodwaters come all the way up to the surface here, the bigger they are, the more resistance they have. So they get a little bit of a haircut. They don't get a chance to grow big and strong. But for the ones that are sticking around, we're pretty doggone proud of them. Now, as you can tell, I know tons about the geology, geomorphology, hydrology, and ecology of our cave. So if you guys have any questions, I'll be throwing out these little pauses into my tour. If you don't ask a question, I'll be quiet for about 10 seconds before I start yapping your ear off again, all right? Again, I have so much information, so real quick, I'm gonna throw it to you guys. Any questions?
Any fish in here?
No, not a lot of fish, right? Because of the environment here, it's too cold, it's too dark, there's not a lot to eat. Not a lot of fish could survive in our river, but we do have one, all right? One fish. Now, are you guys familiar with what a minnow is?
Yes.
A minnow, you can find them in small bodies of water like creeks, ponds, streams, things like that. The biggest they ever get is about 2 to 3 inches long, the size of my pinky here. Now, the fish in our cave are very similar, same size and shape to a minnow. They're what we call the southern eyeless cavefish, all right? And as the name entails, they don't have eyes. They're completely blind. There's no sunlight down here, so they don't need the ability to see. But with there being no sunlight, they also lack pigmentation, aka coloration to their outer skin. So you can see straight through them. Their entire skeleton, their heart beating, their lungs inflating as they swim through the river here. Now every time I tell someone that, they're like, oh my gosh, that's so cool, I want to see one for myself. I can tell you from firsthand experience, nuh-uh, it's gross. Their organs are pink, they're all jiggling around in there as it swims through the river. That's your cup of tea, cool, not mine. Now here in just a moment, we have something really exciting coming up ahead. Spoilers. All right. Now, I have one question for you guys. You guys hear that?
Yeah.
Cool. Follow-up question. Have you guys ever been whitewater rafting?
Yes.
Cool. Follow-up question. Would you guys like to go whitewater rafting?
Yes.
Cool. Now, I would like to finish these series of questions with a statement. These are all rhetorical questions. I don't care about your answer because last time I checked, I saw you guys sign a waiver. That's right, I work in the gift shop as well. I saw you sign them away. I'm your captain and I'm crazy. Last question. Have you ever seen a boat catch airtime before?
Yeah.
Cool. Hang on tight. Woohoo! Here we go, guys. We're going full speed ahead. All right. Okay, I'm crazy, but I'm not that crazy. This boat's not made for whitewater rafting. We're not going over a waterfall, but if you're along for the ride, I like your style, right? What you actually hear behind me is our dam that is in the back of the cave. Helps us regulate the level of the water, the speed of the current. Makes it nice and safe for us to do our boat tours, but also protects the native wildlife. I will be parking my boat right alongside it. You guys will feel 2 small bumps. They're both intentional, as far as you know. out, so don't worry. Alright, so the next thing I'm going to talk about is a bug. Specifically, something you could probably find in your basement. Are you guys afraid of spiders?
No.
Good, because I'm not talking about spiders.
Good.
Alright? The next thing I'm going to talk about is a cave cricket. Now, cave crickets, yeah, they don't look like normal crickets though, right? They have long, thin, spindly legs, so they look like a spider. Specifically a granddaddy long legs, if you guys happen to know what that is. Now, because their legs are long and thin, they can jump 6 feet into any direction. So, and their legs are so long and thin, they can walk on the surface of the water here. That means if you guys feel something crawling on you at any point, that might be a drop of water, not a cave cricket. They're really afraid of people, so they won't bug you. Now here in just a moment, we're about to see one of the most exotic creatures you could ever find in our cave. A boat full of tour guests. So go ahead and say hi to them as we pass by, because like a good neighbor, don't finish that quote. It's copyrighted. See, now I have to pay royalties though. Every time. Howdy, folks.
Now there is going to be another volcano rock. Now this is not like a Russian rock. It's a little bit
I'm gonna let them pass by before I start talking over them. All right. Now the next thing we're going to get to see here today are our ghost crawfish. Right? Now crawfish, if you're not familiar, are a type of crustacean, right? Crawdads, crayfish, depends on what you want to call them. Yeah. These are pretty cool though, because since they live in a cave, they are adapted to live in here. They're half blind, but since there's no sunlight down here, they also lack pigmentation just like the Southern Isles cavefish. They appear this pale gray, white, almost completely translucent like a ghost. And that's how they get their name. So right side of the boat, you guys are going to get a chance to see them first. They're here on the banks of the river. The mud, the sand, the sediment. Left side, chance over by the environment. Nothing grows here. So anything that gets brought in with the floodwaters, tree limbs, sticks, branches, leaves, mud, each other.
Are there any stalactites?
We have stalactites, we don't have stalagmites.
Sorry.
Yeah, you're absolutely fine. Because there's no surface for that water to drop onto, because the floor here is made of water, right? So there's no flat surface for it to deposit that limestone. And even if it did start depositing, like on the side of this rock over here, those little mounds you see, that's the water digging into it, depositing that limestone. Those are going to be washed away. Now, are you guys feeling those cold drops of water hit you as we go throughout the cave?
Yeah.
My goodness, those are refreshing, right? But also, they contribute to our stalactite formations. But we also have a legend here for the water that falls from the ceiling. We have mystical waters here. Each drop of water that hits you is what we call a cave kiss. It's worth about 2 weeks of good luck. So go ahead and let it rain all over you. If you get 2 drops, that's 4 weeks. If you get 3 drops, you can do math.
6.
Yeah, that's 6. Thanks for helping me. Now, keep track of them though. The cold drops of water, those are cave kisses. Those are good luck. If you get a warm drop of water, that's what we call a bat kiss. You don't want those. Yeah, it's gross.
Are there bats in here?
Is this a cave?
Yes.
Yes, we have bats.
We're in the back.
Yeah.
I love that.
That's because we've been in caves where bats were.
Now, they're not going to be in this room because, again, we have all these lights here.
Right.
We have me yapping my big old mouth.
Right.
And even if we weren't doing tours here, they still don't want to be in here because these water levels could rise at any moment. You don't want to be hanging on the ceiling here and caught in a flash flood when you're most vulnerable. So they prefer to hang out in these upper caverns. You can see it starts to come back a little bit up here. Eventually, you'll find these holes that are about the size of a basketball that go back for at least a quarter mile. So they prefer to hang out in those caverns because they feel safe and secure and the water levels aren't going to reach them as easily. And again, they're nocturnal. They're sleeping right now. They come out at night to eat all the bugs here in our valley. So we don't see them just flying around in here, at least.
Just a rubber bat falls from the ceiling.
We might get a rubber bat or a rubber ducky, apparently. All right, now left side, this is going to be your chance to check out some ghost crawfish. So keep those eyes peeled. Again, they're like hanging out amongst the sand, the mud, the sediment. And as we're making our second pass through here, any other questions, comments, concerns, reviews, beauty tips? Yeah, I never get the last one.
Put your hair in a bun.
Ooh, no, you don't want to. No, we tried that one time, it ain't happening again. In fact, Girl Scouts asked if my hair was a wig. That one stung a little. Now, you don't need to duck yet. Don't worry, folks. Believe it or not, I don't like giving my customers concussions. You know, guests here. So you can trust me.
Are we good done?
Not yet. We're all good. And don't worry, Wishing Rock's going to get a lot closer here in a moment. Usually we have tons of the water here. It's always when we get close to Wishing Rock, though. Yes, there is. All right, folks. Now here in a moment, I'm going to go ahead and shine my light down the middle of the boat. I'll give you a countdown. So watch your eyes, please. 3, 2, 1. Here comes my light. There's our good old buddy, old pal, Wishing Rock. Now, I said it didn't grant you wishes, but guess what? I lied. You can make a wish. Just don't let it be that you wish it didn't hit your head, because that's a waste of one. All right? So if you guys can do me a favor, we're going to go ahead and get to those shoe tying positions. It'll be about 20 seconds. We'll get out of here scot-free, so hopefully we don't have a guy named Scott on the boat, because that'd be unfortunate. No.
All right, we made it out of the boat tour, and this is where they host quinceañeras and weddings and other events. And here, that's this shot of the cave. This is where they used to have the underground bar. We are about to head into the gift shop. Here we do have a ton of shirts for the Lost River Cave, purses, socks, do have some memorabilia here with rocks. We do have some pillows and some ornaments. Right here you do have some miner hats and some more crystallized rocks. And then we have some name tags with some cool little dogs on there. Here's some more crystallized rocks. And you can get some rocks and put them in a bag. Some puppets, kid shirts, and toys. Well, that's all, folks. We're headed back to the car, and that was the tour of the cave. Hope you enjoyed it, and keep following for more exciting adventures of the What's Up Dude. Please like, share, and subscribe so that I can explore new areas and go to more places in